Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. No post-game show tonight after Game 3 of the Spurs vs. Grizzlies. We'll get right back at it tomorrow night after Game 3 of the Heat vs. Pacers. Well, let's talk about Game 2. Indiana Pacer fans might be pretty ecstatic about it, and they should be, coming out of Miami 1-1. They might even feel like they should be up 2-0. Certainly Game 1 was a real close one that could have gone either way. However, what Coach Vogel is doing is playing his starters twice as many minutes as the Heat starters. And what I think that does is gives the Pacers some continuity and rhythm with their lineups, whereas Coach Spoelstra seems to be running guys in and out and not playing anybody long enough to get a rhythm going. And that starting five for the Pacers is doing very well. Well, also, we looked at in Game 1 the Heat offense and what they were running. And really strangely enough, we noticed they really didn't run hardly any of the sets they did in Game 1 in Game 2. Remember we showed in Game 1 that the Heat's most used set was horns. They got good movement and 5 guys moving together to create good shots around the floor. Well, in Game 2, the Heat ran horns exactly twice, both times in the first quarter without scoring, and each time with Mario Chalmers screwing up the play badly. This was the other offensive set the Heat ran a lot in Game 1, a pass, handoff, ball screen to Norris Cole. This marginalized LeBron James to a degree as it forced Cole to be the initiator of everything. Even still, it had its moments of effectiveness. The Heat ran this set exactly 0 times in Game 2. While the Heat's offensive efficiency is down in the conference finals, to be expected against a stout Indiana defense, it is their defensive rating that is killing them, considering Indiana struggled to score with an offensive rating of 101.6 in the regular season, ranking a very mediocre 19th in the NBA. The play that is absolutely killing the Heat defense is the high screen and roll with Roy Hibbert. We've shown for several seasons how making the pass to the roll man is devastating to the Heat defense because they love to double the ball. When they allow Hibbert to catch the ball below the dotted line, there is no one on the back line big enough to affect his shot. The Pacers are clever enough to get some ball movement first to loosen up the defense before hitting the pick and roll with Hibbert. Again, they double the ball, leaving Battier to rotate to help. If you're looking for a reason why Bosh gets almost no rebounds, here's a good example. The Pacers take a page out of the Spurs playbook with a zipper cut by Paul George and then a high screen and roll with Hibbert. The Pacers are very smart to have their point guard on the weak side, knowing full well that the Heat will double the ball and rely on Chalmers to rotate onto Hibbert. Need I say more? Indiana didn't always need ball movement before the pick and roll, as the Heat seemed to be unable to stop doubling the ball. Wade might get a fine for his elbow to Stevenson, but he could also get one for this flop. It was almost painful to watch the Heat's inability to adjust to this play, constantly getting out of position and forcing a guard to rotate onto Hibbert. Ray Allen doesn't even try on this play. The problem is with the man guarding Hibbert. On the sideline screen and roll, if he would sink down and play ice like the Bulls do, Bosh could contain this roll and at least be the tallest Heat defender on him. By coming 17 feet out on the ball handler, he's forcing 6'9" LeBron James to come over to help, who's at least 6 inches shorter and completely ineffective. It's clear the high screen and roll with Hibbert is Indiana's big weapon, but they can also do a straight post-up with him as well, and if he gets the ball, the Heat don't always double. Hibbert will score more often than not in that scenario. And when the Heat defense fronts Hibbert in the post, the Pacers are clever and use it as a ball screen to clear an open shot for Hill. Note that Hibbert has good position to get the offensive rebound as well. On this play, Battier is so intent on fronting West in the high post that he's not in position to hedge when Indiana turns it into a screen and roll. Everyone rotates to cover for him and no one can get back to Paul George for the 3. And it doesn't always have to be Hibbert in the high screen and roll. Mahinmi gets into the act while the Heat double the ball, allowing a diagonal pass. The defense has to scramble and Mahinmi makes a nice pass to West, who gets free throws. LeBron James played the last 30 minutes straight of the game, and it appeared he got tired. In transition, he gets lost and doesn't pick up his man Paul George. This causes a mismatch with Cole on him and the Pacers go to work. They get a good shot at the rim by West and a rebound by Hibbert. But check out this great block by Dwayne Wade. LeBron has to try and save this ball, throwing it to his own basket or not save it at all. Instead, Stevenson gets it and hits the crucial layup. LeBron was getting frustrated and tired by the end of this game. Again, he's supposed to come this far out on the hedge, but it just gives the Pacers an excuse to get the ball to the roll man in the middle of the floor. Look at the options West has, and he ends up hitting the shot himself. More evidence that LeBron got tired, he doesn't even try to hedge on this pick and roll, allowing Hill to get right to the rim and 2 free throws. While LeBron is one of the top defenders in the league, part of the reason is that teams don't even try to attack him. The Pacers have a budding superstar in Paul George, who is gaining confidence with every game and really making life difficult for LeBron on the defensive end. So there you have it, sports fans. Coach Spoelstra and the Miami Heat are notorious for not adjusting very much at all on defense. And if they don't stop aggressively trying to trap the ball in the pick and rolls, they're going to be in a lot of trouble because they cannot stop Hibbert rolling to the rim. He's good enough and can handle the ball just about well enough and finish because he's 7 inches taller than anybody the Heat had to throw out there on him. So they're going to have to do something to contain that and not let him get such open freedom to the rim. But by the way, they also have a problem with him down low in the post because they can throw it to him and he can score. And they also have a problem if they have to have LeBron James guard David West as well, because West can draw fouls and get good post-up looks all day. So it's a really interesting problem. The Heat solution seems to be to jam the guards and try and pressure them into enough turnovers, but you know what? The Pacers have turned it over at a high rate, but have shot well enough to be in Game 1 and probably almost kind of could have won that. And certainly in Game 2, they won that. So it's a real problem. Now going back to Indiana, the Pacers have the home court advantage. We'll have to see what happens there, but I suddenly don't have as much confidence in the Heat as I did when the series started. So don't miss our post-game show tomorrow. We'll have lots to talk about. I'm sure it'll be a great game. And don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?